Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session to activate a part of you that doesn't just love working out, but wants to do it in the most empowered way possible. And I was working with a client who, very successful in almost every area of their life, they wanted to become more physically strong. And there were certain exercises they were doing, particularly the squat, which is where you have a big barbell, normally with weights, plates on either side, and you bend your knees with your back straight, and that lowering of the weight and lifting it back up is called a compound exercise because you're exercising multiple muscle groups at the same time. I would say the squat is probably, if you're going to go to the gym and do one exercise, the squat is the one to do. And this client felt that every now and then they were holding back and they were using the safety bars to release the weight rather than continuing. And clearly there was a part of their subconscious mind that was trying to protect them, maybe from injury or maybe something else. And in doing so, it was putting a limit on their ability to get stronger, to grow, to adapt, and all of these things. And they didn't want that. So you're going to hear in this hypnosis session a form of performance anxiety hypnosis where you are disassociated from a resource state, associate into the resource state, and then apply that, you future pace that into the next time that it would be most useful. So you can use this for public speaking, you can use it for elements of anything that there is a feeling of you're not at your most resourceful. So that could be competitive sport, for example. There's things like that. This client wanted to feel really empowered the next time they were in the gym. For those people that work out, you might be familiar with a term called a spotter. A spotter is, if you're lifting a heavy weight, it's someone else also in the gym that is there as a helper in case you can't manage the weight. And typically you get good spotters, and a good spotter is someone that is there ready to help out if needed, but they're not going to interfere. But you also get well-intentioned spotters that are, they're impeding the ability for someone to carry out the exercise. So I use that kind of good versus well-intentioned interfering spotter as a way to reward the unconscious by backing off, that actually they can be good intentioned but get in the way, and that's like that interfering spotter, and that unconscious then doesn't want to align with a bothersome, kind of nuisance. And if you go to the gym and you've experienced one of those well-intentioned spotters, it can really be annoying because and it's hard to be annoyed at them, but it's still annoying that they have a great intention and you didn't need the help, but they're giving you the help, and that's kind of what his unconscious was doing in this particular client's case. So it's designed to empower getting more out of your best in your workout. Obviously, if you don't work out, you still might get value from this, because it might inspire you to work out. You can think of a role model that exercises the way you would want to exercise and still get value from this session. Equally, if you want something a bit more personalized, there's a link in the show notes to schedule that free consultation call. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just feel that you're letting go of any tension, any stress, any fears, any worries. Just feel it melt away. But when you breathe in, start to breathe lower down from your diaphragm, just aiming for a breath that is 1% deeper than the breath before. And as you exhale, set the intention to breathe out slower and longer, creating more of a vacuum there in the diaphragm. So you breathe in even deeper on the next breath. As you start to feel that the deeper you breathe, the more resourceful you feel, and the more relaxed you're becoming. And maybe you can scan your body for any echoes of tension. Not all tension is caused by stress. It requires tension to walk, to run, to lift a weight. And sometimes long after that thing, the tension remains even when the function has passed. So feel like you're scanning your body, not for tension, but for unnecessary tension, for the echoes of tension that are no longer useful. And as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation, give permission for that unnecessary tension to be released. I want you to think about what it takes to lift a weight. It requires tension to lift the weight, and it requires the release of that tension to lower the weight. And I want you to imagine both are equally important. As you breathe in, feel that is breathing in the resources you need most right now. And as you exhale, link the exhale to relief and release, and feel how good it feels to just let go, feeling that you're becoming deeper and deeper relaxed with each and every outward breath. The more relaxed you become, the more your imagination awakens. And I want you to think of a specific person that you consider a role model when it comes to strength. Physical strength. And maybe they acquired that physical strength through a combination of technique, repetition, refinement, and intensity. And I want you to think of a single moment where you saw that person with the very resources that, if those same resources existed in you, your strength would be enhanced. Observe them. See where they were. Look for clues in posture, facial expressions, breathing, maybe just how they approach a bar. where their eyes are focused. And at the point where you see that person in their most resourceful state, just imagine them with a glowing circle beneath their feet. Almost like a spotlight on a stage, but almost appearing to glow from the floor upwards. Allow your mind to accept this is a circle of resourcefulness. And I want you to see them do a particular exercise with a combination of form, intensity, and inner belief. I want you to see someone that has harmony between their conscious and unconscious. I want you to imagine that your unconscious is like a great spotter. Not one of those interfering spotters that jump in too quick, take the weight off the bar. A great spotter is observing, noticing, highly attuned sensory acuity to jump in only when necessary, to allow the person lifting the weight to go as far as they possibly can and only intervene if it's truly necessary. And I want you to see this role model that has the ideal relationship with their unconscious mind, that their unconscious that wants to protect them is that excellent spotter, only willing to warn them if it's truly necessary. Otherwise, a great spotter gets out of the way. And if you can see that role model with that ideal combination of great form, positive intentions, intensity, but a relationship with their unconscious mind that is only there when necessary, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to see them do a particular exercise that you would like to feel you have more in the tank and you could tap into more, and see them doing that particular exercise. Observe the first set, and then just before the second set, feel like you're stepping into their body. Feel like you have their posture, their inner dialogue. Feel like their form is your form. See that glowing circle, maybe of yellow or gold beneath your feet. Approach the bar the way they would approach the bar, and feel how good it would feel not to do your personal best but theirs, as you allow your neural pathways to accept their reality as if it was your own. Link to the idea that you can do way more than you think you can. And notice how you feel when you're doing each rep. Notice that your unconscious there is to protect you covertly, only intervening if it's truly necessary. And feel how you would feel to do a personal best at that weight. As a seed is planted, that what someone else's personal best is feels tantalizing challenge for you to pursue as your unconscious accepts the idea that that isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Inputs and outputs, you do the work, you get the results. And if your unconscious feels like that is true, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to leave that role model, become the observer, but this time an observer of you. A time when you were working out at your most resourceful. A time when the balance was just right, the intensity, the form. You're the observer, you're seeing you. Maybe even remember what you were wearing, what time of day it was. Who else was there? And I want you to see that when you were at your absolute best, see that glowing circle beneath your feet. See what you did when the combination was just right. See the posture. See the intensity. There's clues. Your facial expression, where your eyes are looking. Even those mannerisms, grabbing the bar, shaking the bar, finding that center of gravity, positioning your feet. Observe it all at you, at your most resourceful. I want you to see someone that throughout their life has done a lot more than they ever thought possible. That if it required someone to do something to believe they could do it, nobody would walk, nobody would read. The nature of humans is to have faith they can do things they can't do until they have the evidence through their experience that once was impossible is now not just a reality but easy. And observe that version of you doing that exercise with great form, great intensity, and that in that moment, that protective part of your subconscious was present, aware, but out of the way. And see yourself doing those reps in the way that you felt was the right balance of form, intensity. It felt great. And when you can observe that version of you, rewind it, step into that version of you, feel that you are activating all of the neural pathways present then become present now. Activate that belief. Not just that you can do a lot more than you think you can, but that you don't even know what is possible for you yet. That adverse conditions can be an advantage. As you're about to go up and do that exercise, feel a strong intention and link it to an intentional phrase or word, so that while that glowing circle is beneath your feet, you feel that you're amplifying it with an empowered intention. Feel that you can do the exercise in the right form, that somehow your body just knows where to have the right balance, the right posture, the right technique. It's all in there. Feel that your unconscious, that protective part, is the observer, like the spotter, only if needed. But this time it's not needed, but it was there anyway. As you feel this is increasing the level of trust you have between you and that protective part of your unconscious, that if needed, pain, sensations, it can always jump in and protect you if needed. But otherwise, the most empowering thing it can do is to allow you not to guess your limits or predict your limits, but to find your limits. And sometimes getting to the point of failure is exactly the right strategy to find the limit. And that's okay. I want you to feel that you are activating all of those resources. And then I want you to imagine the very next time you'll be in the gym, perhaps doing this same exercise that you've just observed. And I want you to observe yourself in that resourceful state. See yourself wearing what you'll be wearing in the location, even at the time of day. And I want you to see yourself proving yourself right. See yourself in that intensity to put it all out there, to do what you can, to acknowledge that if you go as far as you can go, that protective part of your unconscious will intervene only if necessary, but outside of that, to explore how much you have in the tank. As you see a version of you that knows that the stronger you become physically, the stronger you become mentally and emotionally, that a physical transformation is also a representation of an internal transformation that people will never see. As you become stronger, physically you are stronger in every way. Observe that future version of you doing it the way you would want to do it. Step into that version of you, feel that positive intention, that trust with your unconscious, feel strong inside. See that glowing circle, and then imagine doing the very thing that you want to do even better than before. Feel the form is great, feel the intensity is there, feel the strength is there, and feel a wonderful sensation that you are priming your unconscious mind for increasing levels of strength, intensity, and great form. When your unconscious accepts that it can protect by being that great spotter, rather than protecting by being the interfering spotter, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to thank that part for this new respectful dynamic. That if you genuinely believe that you can feel pain, you'll back off. If you genuinely feel that something isn't right, you'll step back and evaluate. But outside of that, you're willing to give everything you've got. So breathe in and breathe out and feel like you're returning to the present moment, but feeling like you're taking all of these resources with you, and that whenever you want to activate these resources, all it will take is a combination of an intention, perhaps an affirmation, a phrase, and just a decision to see what is possible for you. So breathe in and breathe out. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connect fully with the present moment as I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. And when I arrive at 10, you will feel fully present in the here and now. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.